8, 7, 6, turkey sandwich, T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, turkey sandwich. I need to see if this is going to go through before I even start coming up here running my mouth. Turkey sandwich. I believe I have it on public. Oh my lord, I hope I have it on public. Let's see here. Turkey sandwich. Turkey sandwich with cheese with the square words. Turkey sandwich with cheese. Sound audio check. Ollie oxen free. LA, are you there? Present. I can hear myself. Let me put both in really quickly. Now, is that just because the left ear sounds great? Hello? Girl, say something. Yeah, I think it's just my ear. Okay. But everything sounds good right now. Say something. You got to say something. Mama, but if I say something, you might not like what I'm saying, so it's best to be quiet. In this house, we want honesty. Okay. Last time I did that, I woke up into next year. So, where we go from here to there? You know, I was like, hey, before there was Beyonce saying I woke up like this. Shoot, y'all should have seen how I woke up after I spoke some truth in my house. I woke up looking like I lost the fight. Might as well said, you know, I could have played into that, like, yeah, I be getting into fights, you know, every day, because I just want to prove how tough I am. You know, a little round like myself. Little did they know, when you speak the truth in the house, things get ugly. Okay, so it's nice to know everything sounds good. What's up, everybody? My name is LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. Today, to my knowledge, it is April 3rd, 2025. This thing isn't showing me the time. It is 10:44 a.m. Good morning to you, and you, and you, and you gonna love you. You gonna love you. Yes, you are. Dun, 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 dun. Love you. Dun, 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 dun. Love you. Dun, 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 dun. Love you. Dun, dun, dun. Is she supposed to be a dog or a cow? Either or is an animal. Cow, yes, there's a cow here. There is a living, breathing cow not Facebook, yes, hi Facebook people, but there's a living, breathing cow in the YouTube live stream. Now, they said YouTube is a place where they accept everyone. YouTube is a platform where all are welcome. So I guess I'm breaking the chain. You know, animals are welcome now on YouTube. The doors of the floodgates of YouTube have opened, and I am leading the charge. People in onesies everywhere. Let's lead the charge. Let's lead the onesies charging as we forge into May 4th, which is tomorrow. May our onesies be with us, starting today and forever. Let's take over YouTube and flood it with love and our love of onesies and animals. Move with me, people. Yes, my people, I hear you. I can feel the love and being surrounded with the moves. I cry. Do cows cry? Yes. Yes, they cry. Cows do cry. Especially when they know they're gonna get led to the slow. To the slow, heavy. Oh, I just had a moment. I had a moment. This is Infusion Fridays, LA, where I talk about music. Today's glorious Saturday, where we're supposed to be living, learning, and being happy amongst ourselves. I like you guys' emojis. Thank you so much for coming in. How y'all doing? What's up? Furries are weird. Yeah, you see the weird furry? Now look, speaking of furries, under the sea in the aquatic field, there's like these little, I think it starts with a K, but they're brown, and they're really spongy. It's so weird. Well, I touched one of those. They're kind of furry too, but it's weird. To me, they have furry things under the sea, and they have furry things like myself and real life animals not in the sea. Let's see. Thank you so much, Miss Mercer. How do you Mercer? That's cute. I like your picture on there. You guys have some nice icons in here today. Yes, it's a cow, Ezekiel. Thank you. I like the strawberries and all that. Thank you for your audience participation. That's really cute. Yeah, my name is LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. Today I actually have chilled water. It's usually I have room temperature water, but it's starting to heat up here, so. And I've been getting warm, so for a change, here I am. Today's quality looks different from the last time I went live's quality. Let me see if I have my settings set up correctly on here. But I am using a different device. Isn't it funny, like each device provides a different quality of whatever you're trying to look at. You know, like this screen I'm looking at, the quality is not as clear as the last device I used, which is, it is what it is. It all depends probably on the manufacturer and what type of lens they want to use. But a computer is a computer, I suppose, and it's looking good. A computer is a computer at this time, as long as it's working functionable. Speaking of the computer I'm using now, so we are only 7 minutes in, and I'm having a blast. Thank you guys for coming in. This is the time where we get ready. I'm starting a little early, but I'm feeling in the mood of it all. We're going to be putting cows in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, pets, plants, animals, artificial intelligence, aliens, and all of the living, breathing species and or sentinels that are here on planet Earth that we share. It is time for our favorite time. What's that time? It's time for cows in the chat. Let's get it. While I put cows in the chat, I sing a little song that goes a little bit like, harmonica, please. Cows in the chat, cows in the chat. 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 I am putting cows in the chat, albeit that my computer is moving slower than molasses. I am punching in cows right now, so I can participate in putting cows in the chat. I'll have you know, to my knowledge, global warming is the reason for global warming, according to science people and our government, is because these beautiful bovines and their gases are polluting the air. So if that's the case, while I fill up this chat box with cows, be advised to have your aerosol cans ready, because the osmosis of it all is going to fill the digital airwaves. I'm going to put some more cows in the chat, so I'm going to sing the song. Thank you, Soundwaves. Look at me. How are you doing today? So I'm punching some cows in the chat. I want to put more cows in here, but this computer is really slow, so I can only put in a few at a time. What's a cow's favorite dairy? Milkshake. Thank you, everyone. I'm here all day. They're like, unfortunately, silence. You hecklers. You only wish it were me. Cue ugly cry. You're not crying unless you crying ugly. Okay, guys and gals, which cereal you picking today? We have the choice between Glorious Fruit Loops and Cheerios. And it don't matter which kind of Cheerios you want. I want Fruit Loops today, so I will type that in. So today's cereal I will be choosing is also Fruit Loops. Today. Today's cereal. The cereal don't have a K in it. Y'all keyboard is set up something strange. All the keyboards are universally the same. It's ASDFG. HJ, shut up, know-it-all. You know what I'm saying. It's always a know-it-all trying to make you feel bad or magnify your blind moments to come in. I'm like, where do you come from? It's a wise exercise to practice staying in your lane. Today's cereal. Well, I froze on one end. Please don't leave me. I don't know what the H is going on, but today's cereal, Cereal. Let me refresh the page and see what's happening. Today's cereal I'm choosing is come on and load. I'm waiting for my camera to load. I witnessed some technical difficulties, but I'm back. So for the ones who hung in there, thank you for hanging on. I was in the middle of typing my vote, so I had to retype it again. Toucan Sanders, what kind of bird? A pretty bird. A parrot. How y'all doing today? Alexander, what's going on, man? Hey, speaking of Alexander, now it wasn't a dream I had. I think like I was watching Amazon Prime. Is it true that Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day children's storybook is about to officially be a movie? Do anybody know? How you doing, guys? I'm waving to everybody. Once again, shout out to ELAY TV. She's always in the chat first. Soundwaves, how you doing? Hi, Alexander. Bobs. We have Albert Perry. We also have, once again, we have the Kiwi Strawberry, Ezekiel Montagolo. We have Mr. Thank y'all so much for coming in. So yeah, Alexander, that movie is supposed to be coming out. Any confirmations? Now that my page actually refreshed, I'm getting ready to type in what cereal I want, because I'm not physically able to punch in my ballot for the cereal. I'm going to let you guys know what I want. You can tell everybody. You can tell everybody. Shimmy moo, shimmy moo, shimmy moo. If I could keep a straight face. Yo, Fruit Loops is a parrot and his name is Toucan Sam, and it's a pretty bird just like the peacock. Yo, let me tell you a story. I met a real peacock bird in real life, man. It was in walking distance from me. I can time the feet. Okay, I'm right here. So imagine going to my left, which would be your right. I'm going to close my eyes and go back into that moment. I was standing right here in front of the booth thinking about getting some popcorn. And to my left, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 8 paces from me was a peacock just freely roaming in this zoo that I was at. I'm like, it's so pretty. And then the feathers opened up. It was like, boom. I'm like, ah! I think I started crying. It scared me. But you remember Jurassic Park Part 1 when that fat man was like, I call him like that because he was disrespectful. He stole those dinosaur eggs and tried to sneak off with them. Then he crashed into a ditch, and then those dinosaurs came in, and then it was like, he's like, and they ate him up. Well, that's what the peacock did. It's got so much force and power when he shows his feathers. It sounds like it's a loud noise. So much force and power came from that bird. It scared me. I started crying. I know I did. It scared me. And I started laughing at the same time. Yes, I was embarrassed. But I still was amazed and had a good time. And the bird continued to walk. I just was like, what the Discovery Channel don't prepare you for is moments like that. It was awesome and beautiful. It didn't charge at me. It just showed off his feathers. And I'm like, I'm scared. But I didn't even finish the sentence in there. Fruit Loops. Asterisks. As much as I look at the Fruit Loops box, I don't know if Fruit Loops is 1 or 2 words. Well, live and you learn. Today, I am going to be talking about the first 100 days of our president. Have you guys seen, is that cartoon still out? Next time on our cartoon president. I believe so. And in addition to that sound waves, Fruit Loops, he says, isn't Fruit Loops a Cheerio with flavor? In addition to that, it's puffed up. So it's Cheerio on steroids. In the world of imagination, don't sue me, y'all. It's getting tough out there in the recession. Folks try to sue you for anything. LA said that Cheerios is on steroids. Cheerios. Fruit Loops is Cheerios on steroids with color. So yeah. Y'all, my foot falling asleep. Let me fix this real quick before I cannot feel it completely and try to get up after this live is done and fall on my face. You ever go to the movie theater and you sit on your leg or something, or you cross your leg and then you feel your foot fall asleep, but you so into the movie, you have popcorn, some of y'all lucky enough to get nachos, and then you forget to shift your legs so it don't fall asleep. And then your foot just going to sleep and you don't feel your leg anymore. As if we're supposed to be self-aware of our leg. Our leg is attached to our body. What the H am I thinking about my leg for, especially if I sit down? I don't need my legs to sit. I need my behind, right? My logic. So, what the F I need to feel my legs for in this moment? If anything, I need to make sure I feel my posterior. Because that's the only thing I'm using to sit. Time go by, movie going off, I'm getting ready to get up with everybody. My leg. Can't make this stuff up. So much for trying to look cool. Even if I wanted to. Extra small donuts, yes. And by the way, there was a cereal. I'm not sure if it's discontinued or not. There was donut cereal, and it was actually donuts. But you know what though? When the donut cereal came out, I'm not sure if it was by Post or not. The donuts were like preferably chocolate donuts. So all they looked like were, you know, the color of, let's say, Count Chocula, the purple. So the donuts to me look like that color but darker, and puffy-er Cheerios. Because there was a time, if they have not canceled that, Fruit Loops did have jumbo Fruit Loops where the Fruit Loops were actually bigger than the regular size. So the donut cereal, to my memory, was just like that, with like a chocolate purple color. And lo and behold, right at that time, I also remember Oreo cereal coming out. Oreo cereal, and it pretty much resembled the regular donut cereal. So I'm like, now what y'all trying to do? Compete? Donut cereal was first, or were they? So having said all that, I think Oreo cereal is still standing. I do not think that the donut cereal is. And see how I got sidetracked talking to y'all? Yeah, I'm gonna place the blame on y'all. I need to shift my leg so I don't not feel it and think my leg is operating correctly. And when I get up, I fall over. Hold on. Your leg fall asleep so hard on you when you get up and start hurting. You be like, ah! Ah! I be thinking that's what happened to parents in church. Pastor take it too long, leg fall asleep. They go to shift their leg and they say they caught the spirit. But they holler because their leg hurt. And on top of that, they had to go to the bathroom really bad, but they're stuck because they have to wait for their leg to wake up first in order to get to the bathroom. So in addition to feeling the pain of their leg hurting, they're scared they're gonna go to the bathroom on themselves and suffer and experience from public humiliation. So now they holler because they scared. And number two, they holler because they don't want to pee-pee on themselves. So now they start doing the Holy Spirit dance in the guise of the pee-pee dance as they hobble and hop out of the church and go to the bathroom. The end. That's the story y'all get today. Can she please get to the article? You feel like a brick, heavy, heavy. You're just too heavy for me. I'm sorry you feel like a brick, but sometimes feeling like a brick is a good thing. It all depends on if you did a lot of work and this is the weight of your accomplishments, or is life hitting you like a heavy load and you feel like a brick. There's a couple of ways you can feel like a brick. I'm hoping it's the latter, that you feel like a brick from feeling the weight of your accomplishments and going in hard in the pain for the family, your friends, or for yourself, and you feeling it, but you're getting the results. If my computer will allow me, your legs, see, you need to shift it. I had to shift mine before I fell down somewhere. My legs start falling asleep on me. That's what I was hooping and hollering about 3 to 5 minutes ago. My leg fell asleep. It's burning. I'm trying to just shake it off and move forward. Y'all know that I done told y'all what's happening. I done told y'all what's happening with me now. But look how let's use a word from T.D. Jakes, acquiescing to another subject. Y'all gonna miss T.D. Jakes because he taught me how to use big words. Like acquiesce. You're pushing it. Now don't get into system overload. We can't lose you here now. Hey, I mean, look now, if this is your plan to get SSDI, then hey, I understand, but it's gotta be another way. Just be careful. This could go either way, you know. In the world of optimism, you can turn life into lemonade, and you make that thing work. I guarantee you, if I lost my leg, heaven forbid, I'll monetize my situation. You know, I be monetized so fast. That's just the way the world works. I know that's right. Carry you my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. And don't you cry no more. Shoot, the way life making me feel, I feel like one of those demon slayers. Folks really amping up in this life. Especially now after these 100 days of our cartoon president running things. Boy, Halloween walks the earth 24/7 now. If you just suspected bad things to happen in Hallows Eve and Halloween, y'all, we living in real times right now. Every day is Halloween, and everybody is out showing their real faces, no mask included. That is their face. This is not a jump scare. This is not a pump fake. This is the real deal, y'all. I want y'all to know that for sure. Don't be doubting these people. If you feel some type of way about them, you better get on and get while the getting is good, because that's the only one time you're going to get a warning, because there's not going to be much time for any more warnings. You're not going to get too many more warnings. Let me get to my article that I have set up for these first 100 days. First 100 days in prayer for the saints, and first 100 days in hell. You can look at it either way, but we all in this together. Welcome to your first 100 days while our cartoon president is in office. So I decided to look into Wikipedia to see what Wikipedia had to say. I am working on a different setup today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people, pets, plants, and animals. So putting the links down for y'all to follow me might be a little more difficult. So all I can say is I'm reading currently from Wikipedia, from an article titled First 100 Days of the Second Donald Trump Presidency. Donald Trump for President. Excuse me. So yeah, have y'all seen our cartoon president? The cartoon is funny. It gets a little dark though, but it's good. I'm not sure if it still comes on. So once again, I'm reading from Wikipedia, First 100 Days of the Second Donald Trump Presidency. I'm recording live right now from my Android phone, and I'm working off this thing here. So from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, for a chronological listing of events during this period, see Timeline of Donald Trump's Second Presidency 2025 Q1 and Timeline of Donald Trump's Second Presidency 2025 Q2. Whatever the H that mean. In this box it says, request that this article title be changed to First 100 Days of Donald Trump's second presidency is under discussion. Please do not move this article until the discussion is closed. I am reading from First 100 Days of the Second Donald Trump Presidency by way of Wikipedia. The first 100 days of the second Donald Trump presidency began on January 20th, 2025. But to me, it seemed like it started 3 months ago. Having said that, the January 20, 2025, the day Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States. The first 100 days of a presidency took a symbolic significance during Franklin D. Roosevelt's first term in office, and the period is considered a benchmark to measure the early success of a president. The 100th day of President Trump's second presidency was April 30th, 2025. How you like those apples? In his first 100 days, President Trump signed 143 executive orders, not Pokemon, but 143 executive orders, the most of any president in this period. 42 proclamations, 42 memorandums, the Lake and Riley Act, the Continuing Operations Act, and other pieces of legislation for Congress. As I read this, my soul feels sick. Trump's extensive use of executive orders drew a mixed reception from both Republicans and Democrats because time brings about a change. The pot must be stirred. And this is America. And when you do stir the pot, follow with me. Realistically speaking, it's ugly already when it's not stirred. So can you imagine just how uglier it is now, which we're seeing now that the pot of America is being stirred by way of these things being implemented? Turning life into lemonades is what you have to do. Taking things for what they are and seeing beyond them is unnecessary. Trump's extensive use of executive orders drew a mixed reception from both Republicans and Democrats. Some executive orders tested the limits of executive authority, and others faced immediate legal challenges. Major topics Trump focused on included immigration reform, deportations, applying tariffs, what's up Timo and Shein, and other countries, cutting federal spending, reducing the federal workforce, increasing executive authority, and implementing a non-interventionist foreign policy. Now that's a new one, because that basically sounds like everything he just listed above. So the article continues by way of Wikipedia. Trump's return to office is concurrent with the Republican Party maintaining the legislative majority in the House of Representatives and securing the Senate majority in the 2024 congressional elections, making an overall government trifecta. Now, trifecta sounds like a great ice cream, so how can you bring such a splendid word into such a painstaking situation? This is them turning their lemonade into more lemonade. Trifecta of pain! You cannot do that! And even in that, it don't make sense. This whole situation we're in don't make sense, but it does. You keep doing wrong for so long, somebody got to sweep up the cut. When you sweeping up the cut, it's going to hurt, especially if it's just surrounded in dirt. It's going to burn, it's going to get worse. But how else you going to get rid of the cut? Physically remove yourself? How do you physically uplift America? To my knowledge, we just can't lift up America and go into another atmosphere. So we got to sweep around it and be bleeding out while we're sweeping the dirt around it. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be messy. It's going to be some casualties, and it's not going to be fair. Such is life. It's just magnified. What else is in this thing by way of Wikipedia? Trump's return to office is concurrent with the Republican Party maintaining a legislative majority of the House of Representatives and securing the Senate majority in 2024 congressional elections. Next time on congressional elections. Dun, 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 dun. You gotta look stuck up too. Hi, I'm LA, and I work with corporate now, so I gotta look stupid and stuffy. Hi, and I have to talk like this. I'll be reading today from Wikipedia, a source that we all so love and trust. It says here, making an overall governmental trifecta for the GOP for the first time since the 115th Congress in 2017 at the beginning of Trump's first presidency. Hi, I'm LA and I'm stuffy because I went corporate. Get ugly. When you go corporate, you get ugly. When you go corporate, you get ugly. I'm making folks mad because y'all reconnecting and disconnecting, little old me in the cow suit. What it got to do with you fools? Man, let me see where I'm at on here. Y'all let me maximize this window I'm trying to read. I'm going to segue into a karate chop on these digital streets. Ha! Ha! Oh yeah! Ha! Oh yeah! Ha! Oh yeah! Ha! Hooty hoo! Chopper style! Chop chop chopper style! Chopper style! Chop chop! Come on chop! Come on chop with it! 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 Come on chop it! Chop it! Come on chop it! Chop it! Come on chop it! Chop it! Chop chop chop! Yeah! Shouts out Chopper style! Chopper had an interview on somebody's platform, and it's crazy because I was singing Chopper style last week, and then in my feed there was like Chopper getting interviewed. I'm like, shut the door! Okay. Okay. So let me see where I'm at on here. I'm still reading from the Wikipedia. You know, some pills are hard to swallow, and this is a pill of life that we have to swallow. But just because we're swallowing it, don't mean we have to adhere to it. You can build your stomach up to not let things affect you. So keep in mind, with sound mind and sanctity and sanctuary of yourself, you still will be intact. I can say that much for sure. So in this article entitled First 100 Days of the Second Donald Trump Presidency by way of Wikipedia, it has background. What the F we need a background for? We technically know the background. It was born upon sin. Need we say more? Because all they did was just multiply that. And here we is, boy, in the kerfluffle. And I only really learned that word from Teen Titans Go. And I probably didn't say it right, but shouts out Teen Titans Go. There was a whole episode about that, the kerfluffle or something. In the 1930s, Franklin D. Roosevelt promised a major reform during his first 100 days as President of the United States amid the Great Depression. I don't even know what depression means. I'm black. I wasn't born rich. After he introduced many significant policies during that period, the events of the first 100 days of a president became a common standard by which to measure future presidents in the United States politics. The United States politics! It's the Fruit Loops bird. It's flying in. Just look over your shoulders. Ah! The feathers! The feathers! Following his victory in the 2016 presidential election against Democrat nominee Hillary Clinton, shouts out Hillary Clinton, Trump made a series of promises for the first 100 days of his first presidency, which began in 2017. His efforts to fulfill key campaign promises also stalled, were compromised, or were unsuccessful due to ongoing political polarization and infighting among his Republican Party. Sounds like another day at home. Moving on. Which had legislative majorities in Congress during the 115th Congress. Trump has also dismissed the first 100 days. What? Trump has also dismissed the first 100 days benchmark as an artificial milestone. However, he enacted many major policies and signed more executive orders in his first 100 days than any other president since Harry S. Truman. Is it because of the help of technology? Because I'm quite sure, honestly, if the presidents had the access to technology and power, they probably would have been superseded what Trump has done. Let's also keep that in mind. People were a little bit slower back then, even though they had the upper hand on us, per se. They still was stupid. In total, he signed 28 bills, 24 executive orders, 22 memorandums, and 20 proclamations. Proclamation sounds like a cake. How you doing? That's a neat name. Now, if I say it, I hope I'm not... I don't know how to pronounce your name, but it's really nice. I can say that much for sure. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. QAS. Let's see here. Following the end of his first term in 2021, after his defeat to Joe Budden, pump it up. Shouts out to the Joe Budden podcast, because Joe Budden officially said on his podcast yesterday that I had to differentiate myself from the pump it up Joe Budden versus the me Joe Budden of today. And there's the podcast Joe Budden. There's the pump it up Joe Budden. There's the real estate Joe Budden. the business Joe Budden and the party Joe Budden. I'm loosely paraphrasing. So which Joe Budden are we getting today? My psychological pen is ready and my notepad is present. I think we might have a problem. Melissa, you might want to scooch over a little bit. Next time you sit down on the couch with the family, you might want to put a pillow between yourself and Joe because you don't know which Joe you're going to get that day. Oh. Following the end of his term in 2021 after his defeat to Joe Biden, not to be construed with Joe Budden, in the 2020 president election, Trump returned to power for a second term upon his victory in the 2024 president election. Next, we have Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Game, set, match. We have Joe Budden. I'm gonna beat Joe. And we've got Donald Trump on a super extreme respirator. Not if I can take it. Oh, my life. Oh, my children. Except my ones I love. Oh, the children that I don't love. I promise I will beat the brakes off of you. And Trump wins. Isn't it obvious? When you beating up on the sickly senior citizen, we all know who's gonna win that fight. That's just like sending a weenie dog in and go beat up a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's gonna be an easy bet. Praise break. Boom, 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 boom. I'll bet it all on the T-Rex. I'll bet it all on the T-Rex. I'll bet it all on the T-Rex. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of the world, let's spice up your life. Children of the world, spice up your life. No, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what I'm trying to say is, people bet on video games. People bet on football games. People bet on bowling games. People bet on folks to lose. And I know people have betted on me to fail. So having said that, what makes you think the election is no different? Some of this rage is probably fake because they betted on the big dog because it was obvious who was going to win. But betting for the big dog paid in the front end, like Funky Diva said, because this is an easy bet to win. You can bet it all. You can bet your house. And for some of you, you bet your lives. And you won, but now that you got your payout, look at what remains behind that. I'll wait. So it was an easy bet. But now that the house is emptied of all its chips and cards, you can't make no more bets. Trump's primary goal for the first 100 days of his second presidency is to implement the Agenda 47 policy platform of his presidential campaign, reverse much of Biden's executive actions, whatever he did, and policies, and resume where he left off after his first term. Trump said that on the first day of his second term, he will begin the mass deportation of illegal immigrants. That's practically the whole dang planet. We're all a mixed effing race now, sad to say. Although I am black, I've got portions of other races mixed with me that they will not acknowledge because why? But it is what it is in my blood. So if that's the case, we all need to be deported off of planet Earth. I don't think they're ready to get that technical yet. Maybe this way they're going to the moon. Trump said that on the first day of his second term, he will begin the mass deportation of illegal immigrants, close the U.S. border with Mexico, reinstate the travel bans on specific countries for his first term, and the federal government's electric vehicle incentives and pro-climate subsidies. Shouts out to the cows. Expand domestic oil production. Pardon defendants on the January 6th United States Capitol riot on 2021. End protections for gender-affirming care and cut federal funding for schools. His administration deemed woke. Trump also promised tariffs on the U.S. foreign trade partners' tax cuts and the reduction of the size of the federal government. Sam Cooke, I was born something something. Da, 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 da. Meow 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 meow. Da, da, da. What I do? Do, do, do. Change gon' come. Yeah, change gon' come. Isn't change always coming? I don't want to go to the gym, doctor. I don't want to go to the gym, mama. I don't want to go to the gym, daddy. Well, honey, if you don't get in the gym, you're going to die. Guys, you got to get into the gym. Let me see here. Let me see. You got to get into the gym, guys. We have to exercise our spider senses. That's the type of gym. If you don't want to get in the physical gym, I don't even want to make excuses. If you want to get into the gym of your mind to strengthen your thought processes, you're going to have to. I don't want to make a video today. And make a video today. What's really stopping you? Nothing. I don't want to go to the gym today. And where aren't you going? What's really stopping you? Nothing really. Go to the gym. I implore you all to push where you don't want to push, because we're not going to have any days to be melancholy. Now's the time more than any where you have to show yourself approved. Now, if you don't want to talk that talk and walk that walk, be quiet. Because more people are going to be holding you accountable for the words that come out of your mouth. Chris Tucker. Myself included. Let me go back to the article. Let me see here. Inauguration, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in for the new ones. I am reading right now from Wikipedia, and what I typed in Wikipedia is the article titled First 100 Days of the Second Donald Trump Presidency. I am down at the bulletin board marker that says inauguration. I am reading from the word of Wikipedia. Well. Oh, man. Main article, second inauguration of Donald Trump. The second inauguration of Donald Trump was the 60th presidential inauguration. It seemed like we had more than that. Sometimes I think they fail to count everything correctly. Like, exactly how old is this quote planet? The planet Earth didn't just start because you got here. It's been here before you got here. It's the audacity, the respect, the lack of respect for just power in general. Earth been here first, so it would be best advised to respect planet Earth, right? It's simple things like that. I love planet Earth. I don't care if it's flat or round. We stuck in this BI. And I love it. It's got fruits and vegetables and leaves and some bugs that aren't scary. You know? So for me to come here and be mean to planet Earth with the gall of entitlement is wrong. So from the beginning, people who touched down into this atmosphere of planet Earth came with the wrong intentions. So everything has to be reset. But the reset I'm rooting for is more of a healthy reset and a balanced reset, not the humanistic reset that we are currently facing. It's always going to be some shifts, some losses, But most of the time, these losses that many people are experiencing is because, for lack of a better word, they were caught with their pants down thinking they were going to always have time or it wasn't going to happen to them, i.e. C-19. Having said that, if you chose to not put forth some type of effort to take care of yourself health-wise, you're one of the people on the front lines who failed to that. A lot of people didn't have to fall or succumb to that. Number 2, people faking the funk that their families are perfect, and then when they had to stay shut in with them, come to find out they hated one another. That's not our problem. That's the you guys' problem, trying to fake the funk to make sure everything was okay. So now you have to effing deal with the consequences of you not being responsible for your own things. Same thing here. The second inauguration of Donald Trump was the 60th president inauguration. It took place exactly 8 years after Trump's first inauguration in 2017. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, isn't he in the cartoon president? Isn't he in our cartoon president? J.D. Vance were formally inaugurated as the 47th president and 50th vice president of the United States at noon on January 20th, 2025. In the Capitol Rotunda, marking the start of the first 100 days of the second Trump's presidency. Now here it says presidential communications. The content of the WhiteHouse.gov was switched from the Biden administration version to the second Trump administration version. The former was archived as Biden White House. This was the 5th time the presidential website has switched between administrations and was the 3rd switch of the White House social media accounts. As Trump took the oath of office, There's no going back from that now. The official @POTUS Twitter account switched to President Trump, and Joe Biden's previous tweet were moved to @POTUS46 archive. Members of the second Trump administration assumed control of numerous social media accounts, while former Biden administration accounts were similarly archived, such as Melania Trump assuming at FLOTUS, at J.D. Vance assuming at VP, Yusha Vance assuming at SLOTUS, Caroline Leavitt assuming at PressSec, among others. Trump's cabinet members were given new social media accounts, as previous administrations had done, and new executive branch websites were created, while previous administration websites were transferred to the National Archives. The National Archives. I like that. He's Johnny, not Bravo. Oh! Johnny on the spot. Shout out portable toilets, porta potties. Yuck! If an official act that breaks Bill of Rights or constitutional law If an official act that breaks Bill of Rights or constitutional law a criminal offense. I'll read it one more time for myself and for the audience. If an official act that breaks Bill of Rights or constitutional law a criminal offense. We want to bring it back to the olden laws before them. Quote the ancients. They been broke that. So what makes you think anything set forth of breaching the respect and the integrity of the ancients is going to continue in a great direction? Albeit the reason that they broke breach of contract with the entities we cannot see yet is because of pride and arrogance and greed and lust. It's no different today. So they broke the law way before these people that we're talking about who are running amok in the office did. Unfortunately, they're just following suit. Because if it ain't broke for them, why fix it? Rightfully so. Who wants to go back to being broke and owning up to the things and the sins of their fathers? Like I have been paying for still dearly. It's not fun, it's not fair, and it hurts like H. I'm still paying for the sins of my parents because they show no accountability to own up for what they've done to me or my sisters or our family collectively. I'm still paying for that. So what makes you think they're going to want to pay for something they've done before they were even a thought? We're talking ancient times now. This is a bigger fight. This is some God stuff we're talking about, like the metaverse. This stuff is bigger than us. Which is why I implore you to follow your spider senses. And that's the answer on that. They brought this on themselves. Early executive action. Executive orders. Now, this portion seems fun and interesting. I'm going to take a pause and eat some chips. Today, I have some chips. I think they're sweet and sour. No, not sweet and sour. They are sour cream and onion. And they're good. Certain control is fun, like video game control. But the control that hurts people, that's manipulation. If I have to force someone to do it, I don't want them to do it. Just like forcing someone to make you love them. That's sick. If you don't love me, go away. I'm not going to make you love me because you're making them bend to your will, and that's not nice. Love is not supposed to make you do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. Period. My family and I have separate views when it comes to things, but we don't shun each other. We don't beat each other over the head or disassociate ourselves from our family when we disagree with certain things or have an out-of-the-box point of view. Love don't do that. So executive orders. It says here early executive actions. Taking... feels like I got a burp again. Now I can carry on. Upon taking office, Trump signed a record 26 executive orders on his first day. I'm not sure why they're repeating this, but the orders prohibited a weaponization of federal agencies against political opponents, repealed many of Biden's executive actions, reaffirmed the existing constitutional rights to free speech. Once again, repealed many of Biden's executive actions, reaffirmed the executive constitution right to free speech, banned federal censorship online, banned DEI and federal agencies, encouraged energy exploration and production, ended the electric vehicle EV mandate, started the second withdrawal process of the U.S. from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accord, declared a national energy emergency, reversed the family reunification task force, pardoned over 1,500 in January 6 rioters. So once again, he pardoned over 1,500 January 6 rioters, designated certain international drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, reorganized the U.S. Digital Service into the Department of Government Efficiency known as DOGE. And I'm not done. This paragraph still goes on. You grasp what you grasp, what jumps out to you, what jumps out to you. It says DOGE. Prioritize the removal and identification of illegal migrants, attempted to end birthright citizenship for children of illegal migrants born on American soil, expanded the U.S.-Mexican border wall, declared a national emergency on the southern border, delayed impending ban on TikTok in the U.S., defined gender by an immutable male-female binary, ordered a 90-day pause on most foreign aid, revived Schedule F as Schedule Policy/Career, and ordered federal agencies to refer to the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. Once again, and ordered federal agencies to refer to the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America and Mount Denali as Mount McKinley. Later executive orders banned transgender women from competing in women's sports, attempted to expand the president's control over independent agencies, symbolically designated the English as the official language of the United States, and implemented a reciprocal tariff policy. That's a lot, isn't it? What's your laundry list looking like today? Doing the laundry, folding the clothes, watching the kids. Those are typical household duties that needs to be done. So that's a good list. But in addition to that, what else are you going to do to apply and enrich your life? Write a poem, write a song, write a story. Make that phone call to someone you've been forgetting to make a phone call to. Taking a walk. You checking the mailbox for a change. Now, these things seem small, and they're coming out of things when I was growing up listening like to senior citizens. They counted these things that I listed as big triumphs because sometimes they get to a point where they're less mobile. So they would count their blessings of being able to go out as slow as they may have moved, but they were thankful for being able to walk out to the mailbox. They look forward to checking their mailbox, expecting that there might be something there or not. So these are the things I'm talking about. Keep yourself motivated. Keep yourself grounded. Because if they can do it, so can we. Shouts out to Wendy Williams. I love you, girl. How you doing in there? Find all the things that you can make turned into, that turn your lemons into lemonade. Y'all, this mug is still going on. Later executive orders banned transgender women from competing in women's sports, attempted to expand the president's control over independent agencies, symbolically designated English as the official language of the United States, and implemented a reciprocal tariff policy. I understand the English thing, cuz. Come on. 4 days into Trump's second term, Time found that nearly 2/3 of executive actions mirror or particularly mirror proposals from Project 2025, which is a thick A book, which was seconded by Bloomberg government. You're going to need like 2 packs of highlighters if you want to read that. You'll probably be highlighting more in that book than you would the actual Bible. You will say, what now? What they say now? The source. It's a sad shame. But that's the way it is. Shouts out Celine Dion. We'll stay forever this way. And out of the sunset, my heart will go on. Thank you. Dramatic pause. Don't that sound like a power move? Celine Dion, fight! She'll just blow you down with her magical word, her magical voice. Game, set, match. We've got Mariah Carey versus Celine Dion. Will you love the laughter part of me? Yes, it's so hard to believe. My heart will go on. Who gonna win that? Okay. President memorandums. Memorandums rhymes with moratorium. Morgue. So let's get into it. Dun dun dun. Shouts out Sloan. Not Sloan the psychic, but Sloan the YouTube creator content who reports on celebrity news and things. Once again, shouts out to Sloan the content creator, not Sloan the psychic. Let's get into it. Presidential memorandums. President Trump issued a total of 12 memorandums on his first day in office. These memorandums establish an American first trade policy. Now that don't make sense because this seems like that's been around since Q Justin Timberlake. To the end of time. These memorandums establish an American first trade policy, began a 90-day hiring freeze with exceptions for troops, secretaries, and others. Requires all government employees to work in office and in federal remote work. Which is dumb to me because then they take less money to stay at home. And isn't that what y'all trying to do is tighten your wallets up? If they work from home, you don't have to. Why should I help them? If they work from home, you don't have to have custodial services. If they work from home, you don't got to worry about your employees stealing rolls of toilet paper, ink pens, rubber bands, and stacks of paper. Come on now, shrinkage. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you had to go back to work, hence now is where your toilet paper comes from. Won't he do it? Ah! Send me a roll. Meow, meow, meow. Take that, Sir Jigsborough. I done shut this whole church shut it down with that message. That was powerful. That was powerful. That was powerful. That was powerful. All right, now, with exceptions for troops, secretary, and other require all government employees to work in office and in federal remote work. Prohibit federal agencies from issuing new regulations until they are reviewed and approved. Meaning, like, what we gonna eat for lunch? What kind of regulations are we talking about? How many more bathrooms we gonna have available? Now that everybody got to go back to work, you know, how many more parking spots we gonna need? How many more wheelchair accessible things we gonna need? I mean, what kind of regulations are we talking about? I love when they're so vague on what they're talking about. No shrinkage. No shrinkage. Well, we gonna let Homeland Security worry about that while they go looking around for people while they gotta get back to work now. Idiots brought the folks back to work. Now Homeland Security gotta go back to work and look at the food still a packs of ink pens and notebook paper. Come on now. They do better just making money being on the video games. Prohibit federal agencies from issuing new regulations until they are reviewed and approved. Pause offshore wind projects. What the F y'all doing offshore is effing around with the wind in the first GD place. Come on now. Restart efforts to reroute water from the Sacramento. We back on this again. Restart efforts to reroute water from the Sacramento-San Juan Delta to other parts of California. Hang it up, California. You dry as your personality. Deliver emergency price relief. Ensure federal buildings are visually identifiable as civic buildings. Create a list of personal edible. Oh, wait. Might as well say they're eating up everything else. Create a list of personal eligible for a TS/SCI security clearance for a 6-month period and implement improvements to California's water infrastructure. California water's infrastructure? What water infrastructure? What water? California water infrastructure. If that don't sound like an oxymoron, I don't know what does. California water infrastructure? That's just like saying the Sahara Desert waterfalls need to be recultivated and then gentrified. No wonder we in the hole. They don't know how to open up these budgets to put their business in the right places. Their nose all in the wrong things. We bringing baby alligators back fun. Say the patch of grass on my pawpaw's dying grave fun. Y'all minds and money is all in the wrong place. No wonder we in debt all the time. What didn't they do in Ohio back in the day? Mama, no, they got me. You don't see no fuss or folks getting beamed up in the spaceship. Boom, 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 boom. On the magic ride. Boom, 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 boom. Ain't got no money for them people. Boom, 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 boom. But a crazy house. Boom, 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 boom. So it's best that you don't say nothing, or you're gonna get a jacket that folds. You're gonna get a jacket that holds you close. That's all you're gonna get. And no prize in getting lifted up into the sky by something that you can't identify. All you're gonna get is a straight jacket. I guess that's what the Lord meant by how to lift it up. Oh! Happy Sabbath! I'm turning red. She's about to burst. That cow's gonna blow. I cannot. Y'all, I don't know where this time going. You mean to tell me we already an hour and 13 minutes in there? You want to know what's up in space? Some profound makeup palettes, and I must get my hands on them. And some cheese. So if you want to spend your life saving, cuff your right leg and on to go to a trip of space to get some beauty palette makeup blends and some cheese, have at it, but I recommend you don't. Because I know where we can get some real good expensive cheese. And it's called the Cheesecake Factory. And it saves you a lot of trouble and a couple of limbs. Okay? How you need to ask me something. And I can lead you in the way you should go. I can give you all the absurd options that you may have. And I can give you the realities of the better choice. I'll do my best not to steer you wrong. I recommend you keep your arms and your limbs. Stay here on Earth. President Trump issued a total of 12 memorandums on his first day in office. These memorandums established a first Trade policy began a 90-day hiring freeze with exceptions for troops, secretaries, and others. Create a list of personnel eligible for TS/SCI security clearances for a 6-month period and implement provisions for California's water infrastructure. Several of Trump's executive actions ignored or violated federal laws, regulations, and the Constitution, according to some legal scholars. Now, can we combine legal and scholars into the same suffix? If you a scholar, what you need to put legal in because you smart? That's just like me saying legal scholar and Parcheesi. They be saying too many words to try to sound like something, and I'm tired of it. They tired of it too. That's why this world going to pot. They cannot even keep up. I said, what now? I said, what now? Daddy! Paul! Paul! Behind the scenes, what we don't see is what I just reenacted. Hey, sucks to be you. A-choo-moo, say boo. Shouts out Veggie tells silly songs to Larry. Several of Trump's executive actions ignored or violate federal laws, regulations, and the Constitution, according to some legal scholars, after multiple orders are blocked by federal judges. Would they block room service? No waiting in the car. Bat, bat, bat. It's all the power they have nowadays. They mean well, but the stilly that's pressed aside into their side under the table says other. So you wonder why good people paying for things they should not. Because what you don't see is that Coke 45 pressed into their bellies if they don't choose other. Can you blame them? Is that a catch-22? It just ain't fair. No, it's not. That's one thing for sure that we all can agree on. Rich, poor, and the whole colors of the rainbow thing. Red, yellow, black, and white. We all precious in this sight. Says who? Says Jesus. Like I said, moving on. It just ain't fair. Move the car along. Several of Trump's executive actions ignored or violated federal laws, regulations, and the Constitution, according to some legal scholars. After multiple orders were blocked by federal judges, Trump administration officials increased their criticisms on the judiciary. That word just tore me up. Like jujitsu. While some Republicans in Congress called for impeaching federal judges who ruled against Trump. Well, look how that ended. Like a soggy side salad. I'm starting to overheat. She on drugs. And I'm not. But y'all not going to believe me. Domestic policy. Pause. Let me get something to drink. What in the world is domestic policy? It seems like everything we listed above that is that. What more do you want from me? I appreciate y'all hanging out here with me, learning a few things, getting a few perspectives on how to view this BS of life. Welcome to ELAY TV, where I show you how to look at the BS's of life through a different lens. If 2020 vision, we need something else now. Domestic policy, Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. I'm going to skip that, but it's in there. Immigration policy. If it don't apply, let it fly. Callous. And Blake and Riley Act and expansion of the Guantanamo migrant operation. Pass. Legal immigration, pass. Not my fight, not my cross to bear. You're so insensitive. I'll pray for the world with a blanket statement, but I'm not gonna pull my hair off for some of these things. This economic policy is what will bring this choo-choo train to a slow halt. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you dream of a choo-choo train in your dream, do not get on that BITC. Run the other way, especially if it looks like it's hot. I advise you to wake up and see if you have your life in order, because that might be your one and only warning to avert from a calamity that may and or will come your way. Once again, do not get on the flaming choo-choo train in your dreams. And unfortunately, if you do wake up out of that dream and see what you got to do to make your life better, and I recommend you fully try to make those changes, because you probably won't get another chance, because things are moving way fast. And this time the cliche of tomorrow might be too late is true now. An hour might be too late now. Please don't get caught slipping. And I say that to myself, as like I said to you. Economy policy. Main article, economic policy of the second Donald Trump administration. This message isn't not just for adults, it's for people who are of mind to be able to interpret this message that I'm saying in a way that it can apply to them in their lives. Now, if it hits you in those certain areas, that means that message is for you in those certain areas. This message may not be for everyone, but I guarantee you, it has no age boundary and or limitation. Kids are just as smart as us, if not smarter, and they always have been, always will be. I am talking about the inner child in me. I was smart too, but they didn't want to acknowledge that. So keep in mind that you are smart. So let's go back into the recesses of our minds and start implementing some of the things that we used to do when we were kids. Moving on, main article, economic policy of the second Donald Trump administration. Inflation remained a persistent topic during Donald Trump's 2024 campaign and dominant issue of the subsequent election. After taking office on January 20th, 2025, Trump inherited a resilient economy from the Biden administration. What? With inflation rates having declined from its 40-year highs but remaining a heavy burden on Americans and above the Federal Reserve 2% rate. What's new outside of the fact that they say it gets worse every year? The unemployment rate was 4.4%. The inflation rate ranged from 2.2% to 2.4%. And the nation's debt was approximately $36.2 trillion. $36.2 trillion. The national debt was approximately $36.2 trillion. When turning life into lemonades, the debt could have been cleared. I'm not dumb. That debt could have been paid off. It just ain't fair, Soundwaves. It just ain't fair. This is the time where the generation underneath us gets and starts to feel themselves in a way that is accurate, and they start to turn to their parents and be like, they have the right to call their parents out, or the subordinates who've been telling them things like, I thought you said don't do this, but you're doing it. They'll be able to be of sound mind to catch the contradictories of us or their parents or whoever raised them, who they've been listening to or subjected to have to listen to. And they see things that aren't matching up with their actions, but they're saying, do as I say and not as I do. They're going to get upset. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of the world, spice up your life. Shouts out Spice Girl. If we as a nation are just $36.2 trillion in debt, that's a hole that we could easily get out of. It really is. But answer me this. How come mom and daddy not digging up the funk from underneath the rug? How come mom and daddy not sweeping under the rug? Why aren't they lifting it up? Why are they only sweeping around the issue? But want us to look in the mirror and make a change like Michael when they're not. Same applies to this debt that we're in. They don't want to face the consequences of what's underneath. Well, neither did we. But here we effing are, right? You're making us do it. If it is up to us some ways, and it is up to us, based on the fact that our founders refused to lift up the rug and handle their own situations, this is government and our parents and loved ones or whatever, does that mean we have a weak foundation by default because they won't, the people who came before us who claim to love us are too cowardly to handle their own affairs, which also has answers that could help strengthen us faster? Are we going to have a weaker foundation by default? Those are the words I give to you who are in this moment in time in life where your people who you love are cowardly and don't want to look under the rug of their own funk, but merely sweep around it and put flowers around it and put fabric softener on poop, but then point the blame on everyone else. Since becoming president, Trump has imposed tariffs on China and initially promised tariffs on Canada and Mexico. It don't even seem like Mexico is a part of the United States anyways, the way they treat them so bad, some of them. And they're getting good treatment now, but I don't understand the whole Mexico thing, but I do understand China and Canada. Before rescheduling the tariff dates, during a Fox News interview with Maria Bartiromo on March 9th, 2025, Trump did not rule out the possibility. And there's the answer right there. When I was little, I'm like, why not just attach it to us so they won't have to worry about this whole illegal immigrant thing? Just make it a part of us. These answers are so easy for the people outside looking in. We wouldn't have to deal with this junk we're dealing with. They're already right here. Why not just have them join us? It wouldn't be so much racial tension, is what I'm saying, had they just did the obvious. Because there's racial tension. Stuff's done turned up. During a Fox News interview with Maria Bartiromo on March 9, 2025, Trump did not rule out the possibility that the U.S. economy would enter a recession. He said his economic policy will cause short-term turbulence, but would be economically beneficial in the long run. Now, I've heard that too. Soundwave says it's up to us. Remember when Morgan slapped Denzel? We were at the stage again. That slap, man, it was so, I wouldn't even want to say off-putting, because that word is too razzle-dazzle for that stage of events. Let the comedy begin. Everything you thought you had to follow was a joke. Will Smith, the Family Guy. I've been screaming it for years inside. Will Smith and Jada suck collectively. They are not. Don't look at them for black love. Can't you see it? No, because we want to believe in something. And in your desperation, you're going to be believing in poop. That's why your results are always poopy. Quit lying to yourselves. The reality of it is a lot of people suck. So you have to take that and then appreciate them for who they are. Regular, smegular human beings. I'm not perfect. I get musty. I cuss sometimes and I don't want to, but I try not to. I'll drop the ball in life. I'm not going around here thinking I'm better than everybody just because I know I'm beautiful AF. You know what I'm saying? Come on, people. I like Will Smith and Jada as people. And I take out of their marriage debacle what not to do. Hello? And it's also a reflection of the black community who's always tap dancing around on the stage, soundways, putting on the Ritz at the Ritz-Carlton for all the world to see, showcasing, because they're trying to impress everybody looking at them on stage. It's toxic. It's toxic. It's toxic. It's toxic. I don't want any parts of that. But once again, albeit I still like Jada, I still respect her, and I feel the same for Will Smith and his children. Oh, wait a minute! Yes, well, shouts out Willow. I do. But let's look at them for what it is. Let's reframe our minds and our purpose of how we celebrate the Smith family, and start to thank them for putting their business out there like that as a roadmap of not what the F to do, and not have to take ayahuasca to have an aha moment, because ayahuasca is bad, so they say. Let's just do our own legendary work without having to go down that road, because you might not come back from that. So Will and Jada, I thank you guys. The Smith family, I thank you guys for putting your messed up family out on display for the world to see as a what not to do. And on that, I hope that by you guys being the butt of every joke in reference to the sanctity of marriage and black people, that some good will come out of this for you guys. Amen to that. Tariffs. Main article, tariffs in the second Trump administration. Let's see what these tariffs talking about, because people crying over T-Moo and She-Moo and she in and she ain't. He in and he ain't. People crying over this stuff. Look, as long as my McDouble from my family is still the same price point, and my McChicken the same price point, the H with tariffs, I'm fine. She's so selfish. As long as the Whopper don't get more than $15, I'm fine. Oh man. So tariffs. On February 1st, 2025, Trump signed 3 executive orders imposing 25% tariffs, guys, on all goods from Mexico and Canada, and a 10% tariff on China. Let's view the world in a lens that is different from what they want us to see. Because when they tell us the truth, that's all they can do. And they fail us because they have no roadmap to life or success. Because they simply and don't know how. My name is LA, pronounced like LA like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. So Mexico and Canada, and 10% tariffs on China, originally due to take effect on February 4th. A lower 10% tariff was announced for all energy exports from Canada, including electricity, natural gas, and oil. What the F are we getting electricity and natural gas from other countries from if we're supposed to be the great white hope of a country? What we need other people's for? Oh yeah, because I heard a rich idiot say, I'd rather use their money than use my money. Well, there's going to come a time when using their money going to get cut off because they tired of it. Because it's going to become expected and entitled. Henceforth, this is where we are at. This is what it is. Shouts out Chile. That's a bad song. Bad like Michael Jackson. Hee hee. A lower 10% tariff was announced for all emergency exports from Canada, including electricity, natural gas, and oil. Trump's trade advisor Peter Navarro stated that the lower rate of energy was intended to minimize any destructive effects. In response, representatives from Mexico and Canada announced intentions to impose regulatory tariffs on the United States, which, if implemented, could lead to an increase in tariff rates in accordance with the clause reportedly included in the order signed by Trump. And they don't call him Santa Claus for nothing. On February 3rd, Trump announced that the tariffs on both Mexico and Canada will be paused for 1 month You got 1 month only after the countries agreed to take further steps to preventing the trafficking of street pharmaceuticals into the United States of America. On March 3rd, Trump announced he would impose the tariffs on Canada, China, and Mexico. Oh my, Canada, China, and Mexico. Oh my, Canada, China, and Mexico. Oh my. I recommend, having said Canada, China, and Mexico, that you rewatch Wizard of Oz again. The tariffs went into effect on March 4th, triggering a trade war with Canada, China, and Mexico. On April 2nd, a day Trump nicknamed Liberation Day. Liberation for who? Liberation for what? Liberation for who? Show not for you. Shouts out Yin Yang Twins. Can y'all come out just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more? Shine the light on us a little bit with your clean party music, please. Just for like 5 minutes, and y'all can dip back out. Speaking of them, yeah, shouts out to Outkast and Soundgarden for being inducted into the Billboard Hall of Fame. Trump announced a baseline 10% universal import tariff on all imported goods, even higher rates for 57 trading partners. 57 trading partners, one from each country. One from each state. 57 from each state. Sounds awful to me. These tariffs and regulatory tariffs from other nations resulted in an immediate U.S. stock market crash and resulted in a bear market. At this point, WTF is the stock market. Sound like stockings, and stockings ain't strong. Nor are they cheap. And women don't wear pantyhose no more. So why if I'm gonna stuff my money into some pantyhose? Stock markets. For you better doing like my grandpapa, bury the money in the backyard. Why would I put my money in stockings? 304s don't wear them no way. And the majority of the girls act like 304, so we don't need to make stockings no more. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Let's get into it. I am curious to see the rhetoric of how this speak is going to be when it comes to the diversity, equality, and inclusion section. Trump signed numerous executive orders attempting to roll back diversity, equality, and inclusion policies, particularly targeting transgender Americans. On this first day in office, he signed an executive order titled Defending Women from Gender Ideology, Extremism, and Restoring Biological Truth to the Federal Government. Christ-based or not, since when have they been interested in restoring anything back to its origin? I grow weary of the notion as to wondering why. Keeping that in mind, defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government, which required federal departments to recognize gender as male, female binary, determined by sex assigned at conception, and cease all funding for gender-affirming care. Trump also signed an order which ordered federal agencies to fire all workers involved in diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. In some way, shape, or form, DEI is pretty much blotting out everyone who's breathing. What pure blood anything is in existence on this planet Earth that's living and breathing. Technically, the Terminator is right, because that means civilization technically should not exist. How far do you want to dig this hole, bruh? I'm black. To y'all, I'm passed away already, so what? Technically, we lose in this aspect of thinking. Keeping it on the surface level of scientifically speaking, the way you're coming at it is a lost cause. Because to me, it's not coming from a place of love. It's not coming from a place of Michael Jackson healed the world. When Michael Jackson saying heal the world, make it a better place, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire race. We felt that he meant that stuff. He meant that stuff. And when I sang the words, I feel like I could feel the energy materialize, and this is some nice stuff. Shouts out Michael Jackson. I can only wonder why they want to get back to the source. Their intentions, to me, may not be pure. And that's the way I feel in reference to DEI anything. Trump also signed an order which ordered federal agencies to fire all workers involved in diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. So technically, it's like he's firing himself, unbeknownst to himself, which is why words have power. Trump signed another executive order, particularly revoking equal employment opportunity and banning government contracts from being given to private organizations which enforce DEI framework. How do you put a frame around bull? It's not solid. It's going to slide all over the effing place. Make that work. On February 5th, Trump signed an order intending to bar transgender athletes from competing in girls and women's sports. The article continues under the diversity, equity, and inclusion section. The last paragraph reads, according to Wikipedia, at a press conference held in January 2025, the day after a mid-air collision between an airplane and a helicopter that 67 people, the worst aviation accident in U.S. since 2001. Trump read from a January 2024 New York Post article that said, the FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out in the agency's website. My case in point goes back to the accountability of our parents who says, do as I say and not as I do, who refuses to lift up the rug and deal with the dirt and the bull that they have under the rug, or to address the elephants in the room. This is the same thing we're staring down at. A grown man who is not addressing the elephants in the room or lifting up the rug and dealing with its own internal affairs. Instead of having us have to deal with that. And we have a lot of stuff to deal with as is. For example, there are things my parents are too cowardly to address that I know that went on. And as I live and breathe, I am still paying for their choices in life. All I can do is move forward, knowing that until they have the maturity or I like the word shout out to a YouTuber, but I don't want to say the YouTuber's name because I might get struck. That's how much power he has. Testicular fortitude. They don't even have the testicular fortitude to look at the damage that they've caused. They just want to wait on God because they think he'll fix it. Unbeknownst to them, knowing that he's waiting on you to do your work too. So while you wait on God, I'm gonna be over here with my family, trying to continue to make my life that got turned into lemons into the sweetest lemonade ever. So shouts out to all of y'all who fit in that classification that I just said, which is you, me, and the world now. Because that's where our president and all this stuff is at right now that we're dealing with. Parents who don't want to deal with the elephant in the room and making you do everything. All while blaming you and expecting you to still fix everything. Contradictory. Love is not supposed to be delivered in a message of confusion. Love wants you to see things clearly, so you can avoid making consequential, life-changing, altering choices that will damage you for the rest of your life. That's what love is. Foreign policy, government organization. On his first day in office, Trump signed an executive order establishing the Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, a temporary organization headed by Elon Musk, which aimed to reduce wasteful and fraudulent federal spending and eliminate excessive regulations. He also signed an order to freeze new regulations and hiring for federal workers. In the words of Funky Dineva, no shame though, some of y'all do be messing up the church's money because y'all thinking the job gonna always be there. So that's not my fault. But it is sad because I don't want people to lose their jobs. I work in the plant. I ain't gotta worry about nothing. Oh! My heart only goes out to the ones who were really nice, not the ones who brag and boast as soon as they start getting good jobs and immediately started turning their noses down on people. The same people you just crashed at their houses for until you could get on your feet because you just got a good job, and then now you kick them down. I've witnessed that. The change the dude had on his face, we were working in the same plant. It was frightening. It was frightening how ugly he looked. I mean, from the inside out, it made his whole face look ugly. Wrapped up in the money and the finer things just that fast. The superiority, and this is from our own people. It was ugly. I didn't even want to conversate. It's just disgusting. That's right, Soundwaves, fight the effing power. On January 23rd, 2025, Trump signed an executive order to declassify files concerning the taking away of our John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King. I had to pause and rest on that. Just those three names alone, man, is heavy hitters. If you guys don't believe in the Bible is just a history book, so just saying these three people's names is like a biblical history, but in modern day, John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, just as important as the people in the Bible. It's no different. It's no different. And January 28th, so that means if it's no different, you are important. On January 28th, the Office of Personal Management offered a deferred resignation scheme to federal government employees to announce their resignation by February 6, while stating that employees who resign will still receive salaries and benefits until September 30th, 2025. Is that true, guys, or did they cut y'all off low-key already? Unfortunately, don't count on it. So don't count on it. So prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Once again, in here it says, a deferred resignation scheme to federal government employees to announce their resignation by February 6th, while stating that employees who resign would still receive salary and benefits until September 30th, 2025. Don't count on that. Keep building and fortifying yourself. The Trump administration led by DOGE targeted numerous federal agencies for weakening or outright abolishment. This included USAID, the Department of Education, and the Customer Financial Protection Bureau, known as CFPB. On January 27, 2025, the Trump administration's Office of Management of Budget, OMB, released Memo M-25-13, which ordered the federal government to take action the next day to temporarily freeze all federal funding while programs were being reviewed for compliance with Trump's executive orders. With medical portals, FAFSA, and other programs being shut down across the country, after several organizations sued, the OMB Office of Management and Budget memo was temporarily blocked by United States District Judge Lauren Akan, with the memo being withdrawn on the 29th. And then it goes into the list of pardons, to which I will not read. Speech to a joint session of Congress. I'm going to read what that is, also to refresh my memory and to keep abreast of what's going on. Thank you guys so much for coming in with me and hanging out, especially you sound waves. I'm believing that this information will help you and that you can share these perspectives and different angles and views to your family, friends, and loved ones, if not only to yourself. Reaching people is the name, and it's not even a game. Reaching people is not a game. That's what the world do. That's a game to them, and you guys aren't pawns or pieces. This is a mission. And when it's a mission, it has a more serious connotation than just it being a game. So, speech to a joint session of Congress says, main article, 2025, Donald Trump's speech is a joint session of Congress. The 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, gave his fifth public address before a joint session. What? The 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, gave his fifth public address before a joint session of the United States Congress on March 4, 2025. During the joint session, Trump addressed topics such as cutting government deficits, economy, inflation, and more. Trump reiterated most of his campaign promises within his speech. Last sentence in this paragraph thingy. Trump gave the longest lasting speech in 61 years, lasting 1 hour and 49 minutes. Now, I thought that video was on a loop because his speeches come on YouTube. You can get them live, and then they just loop after time. Look, whether you like the man or not, it's still nice to give an ear or credence to what he's saying so you can pick out what he's saying. So, so I listened to it, so I thought, this might have been a speech I listened to, but I honestly thought it was on a loop. So I stand corrected. That speech was about 2 hours long. So it wasn't a loop. It just was a long-ass speech. Dude. They talked about polling. It is... I wonder what they mean by polling, because why would they be talking about polling after the fact that he's already in office? Now, the curiosity, I'm going to read some of this to see what the Hades this article is talking about, all right? I need to adjust my seat so my other leg don't fall asleep now. I still have a few chips left. Man, what time is it? It's 12:37. I'm rolling into my second hour. My thumbnail has something along the lines of, disloyal people don't surprise me. It's the ones who are loyal that surprise me. Pretty much, more or less, that's what the thumbnail of this particular video I'm doing now. It's well past morning, so good afternoon. Everyone, this is ELAY TV Morning Moo. So I'm going to read some of this out of curiosity. It says, polling. On January 21st, a Reuters/Ipsos, which was spelled IPSOS, poll found that 47% of adult Americans approved of Trump's performance as president, while 41% disapproved. The poll also found that his partners of people convicted of offenses related to the January 6th United States Capitol attack were unpopular. CNN analyst Harry Eaton interpreted the poll's finding as a sign of the American people, at least initially, like they are seeing. Like what they seen. What? CNN analyst Harry Eaton interpreted the poll's findings as a sign that the American people, at least initially, like what they are seeing. On January 28th, Reuters/Ipsos reported that Trump's approval rating decreased to 45%, with an increase to disapproval on 46%. On January 29th, Gallup polling found that Gallup polling sounds like Golem. Now, why would I want to listen to anything that cross proxy to the name of Golem? Golem is the big googly bug out there from Lord of the Rings. What's fish, precious? What's taters? Bruh. Like I said, Gallup polling found that Trump's 47% inaugural approval rating was historically low and similar to his 45% inaugural approval rating in his first term. For the longest time, he remained the only elected president with sub 50% inaugural approved ratings, and his latest 48% disapproval ratings were 3 percentage points higher than in 2007. What difference does that make? You want pork and beans, or do you want pinto beans? That was then, this is now, mug. And right now, you tracking in the wrong direction. Approval rating of his latest 40% disapproval rating were 3 percentage points higher than in 2017. Marking a new high for inaugural disapproval ratings. Guinness Book of Records, are you ready to log that in? They're scared, but they're like, we're here for it. Let's talk about this in the back. A February 9, 2025 poll by CBS found that a majority of the 2,175 U.S. adults interviewed from February 5 through 7 found Trump tough, energetic, focused, and effective, and as doing what he promised during his campaign, whether they approved of it or not, with many saying he's doing more than they expected. That's just like saying when you have the cha-cha-chas is doing a little bit more than expected. You think? You shouldn't have ate all those dang burritos, so it's going to do a little bit more than expected. Come on, people. The Washington Post, that Trump supports slipping, found that Trump supports slipping, with the majority saying that he had overstepped his presidential authority and hadn't done enough to address his prices. The Post also found 58% disapproved of his wide layoff of federal employees and only 34% approved of Elon Musk's role in government. So after they found out he's doing more than they expected, it found that a majority of both expressed support for his immigration policies, but also that they also thought he wasn't doing enough to lower the prices. So which one is it going to be? Kick people out and lower prices? It don't seem like they know how to simultaneously move as one. Like an organ piano makes a beautiful chaos. I think you can only ask them to do one thing at a time. One pan lick at a time. Well, of course they're not going to do that. Hi, Leon Nelson. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are entering the 2-hour mark. How you doing? So it says here, I'm scrolling down some more. It says, by the conclusion of 100 days, I'm curious to read what this says. By the end of his first 100 days, multiple polls largely showed Trump with a net negative. Dog, no, I've never heard that type of speak. A net negative? They don't even say that in the circus. You know, when those trapeze people be up there trapezing and have a net underneath? Those two never once the two words shall wane or twang. Net negative, nada here, not in this circus. By the end of the first 100 days, multiple polls largely showed Trump with a net negative. Ha! That's so awful. Next time on net negative. When the ain'ts don't ain't. With a net negative and falling approval rating of every polled issue and among almost all demographics, especially independents. Of course! Time stated the speed of Trump's polling drop-off was the sharpest among all 21st century presidents. 21st century presidents. What do they mean, 21st century presidents? All of the presidents are barbaric and prehistoric. So that statement don't make sense. But then again, it does. These are modern day times, and we're electing barbarians who grew up with no lights and rode horse and buggies. They're stuck on that. No wonder we're in an upheaval. They like the good old days when things were simple. Oh, when they didn't have to use their brains. So that means they're kind of saying they're stupid. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why you build a team of people who you love and trust, who are smart, to lift you up, so you can be a united force of many, not one, you big lug nut. But they don't want to do that. They want to be the one and only. Who in the F wants to be the one and only? Outside of the fact that I am the one and only person. A Fox poll showed Trump with a total of 40% job approval rating, lower than his 45% approval rating during his first term, and with negative approval on every poll issued except for border security at 55% approval, y'all. Oops. This is crazy. A CNN/SSRS poll found that his approval rating at the end of 100 days was 41%, the lowest of any president in at least seven decades, and lower than his first term approval rating at this point. It found his polling on every issue was a net negative. Q Perry, net negative. It found his polling on every issue was a net negative, except for his handling of matters related to gender identity and trans people, which was at 51% approval. Several other poll issues showed sharp declines since his election among all demographics, especially on the economy. Quivis found, spelled CIVIQS, Quivis found him with a net negative approval rating in every swing state. Swing! Bada that man not a her. His toast is done. Murray's found his first 100-day approval rating at 42%, with the plurality giving him an F rating. Rotten Tomatoes gives his president an F rating. I'm just loosely paraphrasing, but he did get an F rating. So it says Murray's found his first day approval rating at 42%, with the plurality giving him an F rating. Economic/YouGov found Trump's approval rating at 41%, which US Today noted matched with the Real Clear Politics poll average, turning negative for the first time around March 13th, later dropping to negative 4.1 as of April 22. So Marist is spelled Marist, and they found that his first day approval rating at 42%, with the plurality giving him an F rating. They go on talking, oops, I lost my place, just one moment. They go on talking about the protest and so on. We have notes and all that, and that brings us down to the conclusion of this article. I actually kind of want to reread it again, but on my own time. Once again, I'm working on a different structure right now. So when I do close this, I will gladly share the link to which I'm reading from. So for the people who are listening by way of podcast and stuff, I've read from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, and the article is titled First 100 Days of the Second Donald Trump Presidency. Once again, the article I'm reading from Wikipedia is entitled First 100 Days of the Second Donald Trump Presidency. I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Thank you guys for coming on. I had no clue this was going to be a 2-hour show, but I feel good, and I believe I got out what I needed to, and I've helped those who've come in. And as of now, until further notice, that is my mission in life. If I have a word to share, I'm going to. We do have to help one another. And this whole world is a melting pot. It's not just exclusively America. Snap that on the Americans' teeth. America is not the one and only end all be all. This whole dang world is a great melting pot. I wish America would calm down, because you make good citizens like me and my family look so bad. It makes it harder for us to want to just do simple things because of the false accusations presented upon us that are not fair. Not every black person carries the same umbrella, but they beg to differ. And I don't even like carrying umbrellas in the rain. They're pointless. I'd rather just let the rain fall on me, because I'm still going to get wet. My shoes, the bottom of my pants, the backs of my shoulders, my purse sometimes. I don't have time for that. Just submerge me in that all or nothing. Or roll me around in the plastic tarp so I don't get wet. So I'm typing in my closing remarks right now, guys. What I learned. We are all in this. We're all in this poop show together, whether you like it or not. So my closing remarks are, what I learned, we are all in this poop show together, whether you like it or not. Let me see the poll. I feel accountability free as I delivered this message to everybody. I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my subconscious. I shared this message and got it out, so that means someone has received the message or will be set in place for him or her to receive the message in due time. But nonetheless, the message is out there. I feel good about what I've done, and now I can breathe easy and focus back into household tasks. I am thankful that I can work from home now, so when I do have to work online, I'm still not completely detached from my family. Only for a brief time because I'm separated by a little office or something, but I'm not completely removed from the ones I love. If I can open up this poll, I want to read the survey, y'all. But the way this computer is laggy, it's causing me to push buttons that I don't want to push. But I did close it out. Maybe I can read it from my phone. Yep, I can see it from my phone. So, okay, guys and gals, which cereal you picking today? Fruit Loops won 62%. I am a part of that 62%. I voted. I wasn't able to physically place a vote on it, though. What I did was typed in my answer at the top of the key. Speaking the top of the key, my husband and I have been watching as many basketball game championship final thingies as possible, and I've been enjoying my time watching the games with him. It's really been good basketball season this year, and in pre-NFL season. It's nice to have something worthwhile talking about in the world of sports instead of the typical Monday things. Life is actually intertwining with the sports world, so it heightens the whole sports dialogue, and it's actually bringing at least the ESPN people together more based on being forced in a way to share their views on how they think about things. So Fruit Loops has a 62%, to which I voted for, and 37% for Cheerios. Now, thank you guys for voting. My name is LA, pronounced like LA like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And on that, I'll close with the closing song. Kyle's in the chat.